Myself Atul Kashyap, lecturer in Botany, Government High Secondary School, Boys, Udhampur. Today we are going to start first unit of Botany of class 11, that is diversity in the living world. So two words are coming here, diversity and living. What is diversity? Diversity means variety, and living, all those organisms which we know, like plants, animals, microorganisms, which has the capacity to grow, develop, response to stimuli, and reproduce. They are referred to as living and hence called living organisms. So there is a variety of living organisms on this earth. There is a huge variety of living organisms on this earth. At present, near about 1.8 million, means 18 lakh species are there on earth. Till today, they are identified, named as per scientific binomial nomenclature and classified. So at present 18 lakh species are identified by the scientists, but there are so many species still need to be explored and yet to be named and classified. So out of these 1.8 million, 18 lakh species on earth of living organisms, approximately 12 lakh belongs to animals, approximately 5 lakh species belong to plants, and around about 1 lakh belong to microbes. Out of these animals, insects contribute the most. Insects contribute more than 10 lakh species to the living world. Let me tell you, there are variety of living organisms you know today. These may be various type of plants, animals, microorganisms, various types. There is a huge diversity, which I told you earlier, that there are 80 lakh species which are there in our world. All these species originated about 3.5 billion years ago. $3.5 billion years ago, life was originated on earth, and after then, from simple microorganisms, today we found a complex diversity in this world of these living organisms. Now, these organisms, these living organisms, are of various kind based on external features, size, shape, color, habit, habitat, mode of nutrition, and type, even internal structure. So, in this whole biological world, there are variety of living organisms which we know today of various kinds, various external features like size, shape, color, habit, having different habit, having different habitat, having different mode of nutrition, having different types, having different internal structure, which we further study in the next lectures. Let's say, according to size, we have an organism like bacteria, which ranges from just 0.1 μm, with whale having 30 meters in length, and tree like eucalyptus, which we locally call as feather, having height of more than 300 meters. See the diversity. As per nutrition, we can divide living organisms into autotrophs and heterotrophs. Autotrophs, which we call that they make their own food, they do photosynthesis and prepare their own food. They can be further classified into photoautotrophs, chemoautotrophs, and heterotrophs. We are included in heterotrophs, and heterotrophs can be classified into herbivores that eat herbs, carnivores that eat meat that are dependent on herbivores, omnivores that eat both, decomposers that decomposes dead bodies, parasites that live inside the host, and predators that can be called as catcher of preyers. They catch and kill the prey. After them, let's study about habitat. They can be classified on the basis of habitat. There are terrestrial animals as well as plants as well as microbes, aquatic, which can be further fresh water, and marine water, which live inside the saline water, known as marine water animals or plants. Then aerial, like apes, birds. This whole of the biodiversity, the whole of the variety of living organisms on this earth are due to continuous evolution and adaptation among them. Let me tell you, 3.5 billion years ago, life originated on earth in the form of simple bacteria. But today we see complex organisms like animals, like angiosperms in plants. This is altogether due to continuous evolution
and adaptation. What is evolution? This is continuous and progressive change with time. And adaptation, this is acclimatization or adjustment. So with changing time and changing environments, everybody has to adapt, otherwise they will extinct. Let me tell you, there is a material and energy cycling in the biological world. This is through food chain, where autotrophs make their own food through photosynthesis with the help of sunlight, where they convert the solar energy into chemical energy in the form of matter. This energy and matter inside the autotrophs is taken by heterotrophs, which is in turn reached with decomposers. Here, autotrophs utilize inorganic material like water, CO2, and convert into glucose and further. This is organic material. Decomposers further convert them into simpler inorganic ones, inorganic material, and hence there is a material cycling. Let me tell you, this huge world of living organisms is not so easy to understand. To understand this, we have names. All the living organisms have particular names, which we know are local names or English names. But they are misleading. They change with time and place, as well as with the language. These common names like mango can't be called as mango in Russian or any other language or any other place. So there is a dire need of understanding this living world with the help of some universal naming. So we have universal approach in the form of universal naming, which is known as scientific names, also known as binomial process of naming. This process of scientific naming is also known as binomial nomenclature. There is a proper set of rules where whole world recognizes the organisms as one. Just like mango, there is a common scientific name, Mangifera indica. The two word naming, but still studying 1.8 million species on earth is not so easy. So there is can't be studied individually. For this, we need to arrange them into proper groups. For this, we have a separate topic known as classification. So, what is classification? Here we arrange various organisms on this earth. We group or organize the organisms into different groups or taxa based on various similarities and differences among them. So, these groups or taxa, we know them by the name of class, order, family, genus, and so on. So these are the taxa which we study in classification. Here in classification we organize or group various organisms on this earth into different groups so that our study could be easy. The first fruitful attempt to classify the organisms was made 300 years ago by the father of taxonomy known as Linnaeus, also known as Carolus Linnaeus. In year 1735, where he gave two kingdom classification. Where organisms were divided into kingdom Animalia and Plantae. But with further researches, there were certain limitations of this system. So, in the year 1969, scientist named as R.H. Whittaker gave 5 kingdom classification, where whole of the biological world was divided into 5 kingdoms which were universally accepted. First was Monera, which was simplest one, then Protista, the bit complex from Monera, and then more complex Plantae, then fungi, and at last Animalia, the most complex one. So this was the diversity of living world, a bit introduction of the whole universe.